I am way down here. It's dark. I'm gonna have to put some lights on. We'll see. Oh, see if that makes a difference. Nope, not much. You can see the kiddo on the back wall. Yeah, let's check out some of this. We didn't have to send your kids out to make some money, let's put them to work. Sounds like Kronos, doesn't it? Go out and earn a living.
And if you haven't heard the name Desmond, get ready for this trailblazing 11-year-old drag kid who RuPaul is calling the future. And bravery is inspiring so many. We're going to talk to him in just a moment, but first, let's take a look at his amazing story.
I am Desmond. I'm 11 years old, and I like pizza, trains, and drinking root beer since it's caffeine free. I also do drag, and I love to put on makeup, dresses, and wigs, and of course, jewelry is necessary. My full drag name is amazing. So very happy to have a mom that accepts me.
It really touches me deeply that there are other children out there that he's reaching and they're listening to him and he's influencing them to be themselves.
I'm very proud of him.
How would he know what this was if they didn't push this shit in our face? That's where I come from in this situation. I think it's a type of child abuse. It's not that when we are having to, when we're strung out by the narrative, the pink and the blue business, my fathers knew that I was a queer. My mother knew it too. But they still pushed the narrative so that I would eventually one day probably want to kill myself because there was just absolutely nothing I could do about the fag that I was going to become. And, and so this is where we come from. This is where people nowadays are coming from. They're coming from being a scapegoat for the last 2,000-3,000 years. All right. However long it is, whatever the lie is or whatever, it doesn't matter. To think that queers just sprang up out of nowhere, grew on trees and stuff like that, that this is a mental problem. Well, I've been queer all my life, but I've been a professional queer at least since my adult life. And what I have found is I've got friends that are drag queens they're boys during the day and they're girls during the nighttime. And they have two different names and stuff like that. But nobody gets mad. Nobody gets out of hinged or off hinged because someone did not recognize them by their drag name or whatever. It wasn't very long ago when I even began living in Key West that when we worked at a place like the Casa Marina, that we would be in such quietness that we would go to a bar at nighttime, a gay bar. Hey, and there's the guy that works across the lane from us, or there's the waiter. It's, oh, I knew it was you. I knew it. It was like some kind of search and find. That's where we are. That's where queers are. Within the last 20-something years, 30 years, they've been pulling us out of the closet via drag queens and stuff like that. They're like the forerunner in all of this. But there's no sensitivity in them. If they want to turn into a guy or a girl or whatever it is, it's their thing. It's their problem. Some of us would like to say, well, that's a little taking it too far. I like men. That doesn't mean that I want to become a girl and have a pussy, stuff like that. Hell no, I love my penis. I love my penis, and I like guys that love my penis. All right? I like that, okay? So, there's this idea that at one time it was just easy. You had queers, and you had people that hate queers. And now you still have queers, and you still have people that hate queers, but they're making it illegal to hate queers. And you can't make something like that illegal. Someone's still going to dislike you and stuff like that. The Bible even tells you to do it. So, what is this? I have been a scapegoat as a queer for so many times in my life that if this is going on like the Bible, this is biblical. It goes on forever. And there's probably not going to be an end to it either. All we've been made is targets of some kind and weaponized so that they can do the bidding of someone. And they consider queers and gay things and gay stuff a negative situation, whereas having to do more with the devil, you know, and that's crazy, you know. We understand that the biblical queer is someone who follows the word, who goes to church, who follows Father and the strange woman. These are two male energies. This is the fag. This is the homosexual. And they just don't realize that that's the homosexual that will never make it into heaven, because those two male energies, the carnal mind, the left side of our brain, the carnal mind, Father, along with this religion, this idea of the strange woman, they cannot release the child within us. This idea, this light, this peace, there's something inside of us, this seed, our soul, God's people. When we are following religion, we cannot do it. We have to go within ourselves, follow what's on the other side of the Bible, the spiritual side of the Bible. It brings you to the midst. It brings you inside here. This is where it goes. And just not knowing these things alone and giving hell to, and for all intents and purposes, God gives people on earth the right to destroy and murder and kill people that are queer, because it goes against God's commands that they just don't procreate. Well, people that don't procreate are usually those guys that are the Bible's, the church people themselves, people that don't have sex for God's sake, like the preachers and all these people. That's an outside thing. We have people that are made this way, that are made slaves and eunuchs, and they cut their balls off. They're unable to make babies. And then there's that natural group of people that pop out of their mama's womb just as easy as day. The natural gay. That's me. I came out of my mom's womb this way. And I've had to struggle all my life to be accepted. And I really like who I am, but on the outside, I know that people despise me, and I'm queer and all this stuff. I've had to live with this for a good long time. And now all of a sudden, they've lifted the lid on queers. And, you know, and on most gay people, they just went absolutely crazy. When there's no more weight holding them down, it's like an ice pack, you know, during the ice ages. It's gone now. And so the ground itself, the land itself, starts to rise. And now all these queers are running around thinking that their things stink don't shit. Shit don't stink. I'm always mixing that up. And I don't believe in an agenda of any kind. I don't support something like that. Just like I don't support the right and left paradigm of the right and of the businesses of Democrats and Republicans. You know, I don't believe in that. I think that's another trick. It is another trick. Don't fall for any of that garbage anymore. All right, so anyways, I thought I'd give you a little holler. But anyways, this kind of stuff here. When I was growing up, one of the things that I take on is that children need to be children. They don't need to be thinking about sex. They don't care about sex. Who gives a damn? Let us be dumb. I was dumb. I was a virgin until I was about 20 years old. All right. Now I'm only 56, so that wasn't very long ago. All right. But I was under strict things. But everyone else in my family had already given up by the time they were 12. All right. But I held on. You know, I believed in the old-fashioned way of doing something. It's crazy. So what happens? You say, oh, something bad must have happened. Well, no, a series of things didn't happen. And now everything is cool. I even went through the Navy. Do you know that the Navy, when I was coming out as being a homosexual in the Navy, that they were going to give me a discharge? This was during those days. They could lock me up. I spent 4 years or whatever my remaining years in the Navy. I could have spent them in jail or something like that, or whatever time we had left, just in the stockades, because I would have sucked penis or something, you know, not admitted to it. You know, it's a whole different world now. But the stigmas and stuff like that are still there, and the queers are still like, oh, no, I don't know. They said I could run around out in public, and then someone comes up and beats them, you know. They say, oh, we can go to church now, and then they come in and shoot them, you know. So it's this idea that, you know, it still says in the Bible that homosexuals are not allowed up in heaven and that they're an abomination. And since most of the world sees this and reads this because they're all literal people, and that's how the Bible is read, then of course queers are always going to be this underdog, all right? But here I am a full-fledged queer, all right? 56 years old. I've been practicing queer for at least 35 years of those years, maybe more. When I was in the closet, stuff like that, being deviant. Well, it's no fun anymore. Now that they've taken deviant out of it, it's just no fun no more. But this was years ago. This is the way it works. We used to have to build bars to drink without any windows. No one could come in and see what's going on. It was really quiet. There was usually someone set up at the end of a street watching, you know, and taking pictures of people's their license plates so they could out them in the newspaper for being queer and stuff like that. This wasn't only 20 years ago. This was not long ago that this persecution and garbage, you know, against being queer, that you never even heard things on the radio. We had our own places, our own bars, our own restaurants, our own hotels, our own everything. We just took care of ourselves. And basically, that's the way it works. But now everybody's flying the queer flag and inviting everybody in. So, you know, it's an inclusive thing. Something nice is going on. At least there's some kind of positive move or stretch into the right direction. But when it comes down to, you know, just taking advantage of your children and gay things and stuff like that, you know, that's abuse. That's child abuse. But it's no different than a woman taking their child and putting them up and being you know, some kind of fancy kid for Miss Universe or anything like that. Grooming. Oh, that's a type of grooming. What's this kid going to do when he grows up? He's just going to learn how to be a beggar. You know, maybe he will learn how to strip. But most of these people that are drag queen friends of mine, it's a reveal. It's not stripping. But I do know a couple that absolutely come down to ball nothing, you know, to show you, hey, this is how we hide our stuff and come out all together. But no, most of the time it's just a reveal because they want to be beautiful and glamorous or whatever it is that their shtick is. And it's perfectly harmless in a lot of ways. But children don't need to be in there. I waited until I was 19 or 20 years old before I tried sex out. I was absolutely kind of scared of it. And because I really never matured. I never grew any of those things, you know, mustache and hair under my arms or my legs. Everything was pretty clean and clear and pretty and young and all, and no hair, no nothing. So I was kind of, you know, what they call a late bloomer. So I didn't give a damn about it. I don't think you needed to know about it. It's something that will come to you, you know. But anyways, I guess nowadays they want you kids sexualized at an early age, you know. Somehow or another I made it through. Anyways, I'm just talking, saying hi. Hope you're well. Best to you.